Hi, Chris McClean here for FDIC International 2025. I'm now at the First Due booth. I'm with Andreas Huber. He's the co-founder and CEO of First Due. I think Andreas, just to get us started, could you just kind of give me a background? What is First Due?
Yeah, thanks, Chris. So First Due is a vertical software business for the fire and EMS industry. We are the most comprehensive suite of software products for fire EMS agencies to run the entirety of their operation, all in a single system.
Okay, so to me that sounds like you've taken several maybe disparate types of software, consolidated them into one. Why are fire departments starting to gravitate toward consolidated software, and how does it help them out?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think there's been a long period of time, call it 10 to 15 years, where there's been so many different point solutions that fire departments and EMS agencies have started to use over time. And after getting in there, they want to then integrate these, and they go through the pain of doing that. And after a number of years goes by, they kind of look up and realize, wait a minute, I can't get any of the reporting I need. I've got too many logins to these different applications. I've got full-time employees just to know which vendor to call when things break. And I can't seem to get the global reporting I need to make good decisions for my organization. And so by moving to a product like First Due that has all of the sort of software modules I need to run my operation, but each module is deeply functional, and also the ability to flex up in functionality for maybe metro departments, but also to configure and slim down for maybe some of your smaller departments, so that all of my needs are met, no matter how big or small I am as an organization.
What would you say with other similar companies? What would you say sets you apart?
So there's quite a few things that set us apart at First Due versus the other options that are out there. Number one, we are the most functional and have the most breadth of software products to take on all of the operation versus having to go to one or so many different types of applications to meet your needs. We're also the most modern, right? Built on a modern cloud architecture and a modern cloud tech stack. And that's going to enable us to continue to build software very fast. One thing we do is we work very closely with our customers to continually stay out ahead of what anyone else is doing, even in sort of very specific areas.
Okay.
And as well, that enables us to introduce artificial intelligence into our products, which is even providing even more value and making the jobs and lives of our first responders that much easier.
Talk about the AI component. AI all over the show floor. We're hearing about AI being in places that we never, would have considered that before. It's making its way into our everyday lives. Talk about some of the AI breakthroughs that you're bringing to your users.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Our AI is being used all throughout our organization. The first place that we wanted to introduce it was actually on the documentation side, especially in the field. So we released a AI-enhanced documentation for our ePCR solution. So you can imagine medics going out into the field. One thing that they don't love doing as a provider, as a healthcare provider, is lugging around a tablet and focusing on documentation when they really want to focus on the patient. The other really big thing is the time it takes to complete all of your quote-unquote paperwork, right? And so what that's doing is that's keeping the ambulance out of service. So by introducing artificial intelligence in the documentation side for ePCR, now the provider can actually focus on the patient, whether they're using a device that's listening to the conversation between assessing the patient and the treatment, or you're documenting what took place on the call afterwards. It's cutting down the amount of time it takes to do that documentation to a fraction of the time versus the manual way. And now my unit is back in service. So my unit utilization rates are much higher, which means my response times are also much better. And there's so many more added benefits, but those are front and center from our customer.
We've been hearing about NERIS for quite some time. Whenever we think of NERIS, we're kind of thinking about getting the information out of our systems and into NERIS, as well as a lot of other things. What are you doing as a company to help departments prepare for NERIS as it rolls out?
Yeah, so we're excited about the NERIS transition. First and foremost, NERIS is a new data standard, right? The evolution of the fire data set from NFIRS to NERIS. On top of that is the mechanism by which the fire data report in a NERIS format gets submitted to FEMA is now more automated, so there's actually an automated API integration to the national repository. So we're offering a tool that makes it so much easier for our customer to report. But we've made the transition super easy because the form is slightly changing, but the look and feel, maybe some of the labels changes and the choices change in line with the new standard. But in terms of the look and feel, it's the same product they're used to using every day anyway.
Okay.
So it can't be a smoother transition from our perspective.
Okay. If a current user or a current customer was talking to someone considering making the switch, what would they say? To switch to your product, what would they say?
I think they'd say we're so thrilled that we have this consistent product that all of our staff and personnel use day in and day out across all the different areas of operation. I can now get the data out of my system. I can get the dashboards and visualizations. When my inspector logs in, they're very easily able to see where am I going today? Where am I going next week? Which buildings am I inspecting? Am I ahead? Am I behind on my schedules? As a firefighter or a medic, I can log in and I very quickly see where am I headed today for either CRR or what trainings, how many hours have I done this week? Who do I owe in terms of shift trades? Where do I stand there? What does my schedule look like? All my information is in a single location, which cuts down all of my administrative tasks, and I've got a full handle on my operation from like a leadership perspective as well.
And what about fire prevention? What types of capabilities does First Due offer for fire prevention, like fire marshals, et cetera?
Yeah, so we offer an end-to-end solution for the Office of the Fire Marshal. Everything from plan review to inspections, permitting, invoicing, billing, online payments, all of the reporting, data and analytics on top of it. Everything is geospatial as well, including advanced analytics for community risk reduction programs. So taking into account data from incidents, data from response, including risk assessment data for your buildings to drive your CRR programs, including a contractor portal.
Okay.
So contractor portal to handle ITM, so your inspections, tests, and maintenance that gets handled by your third-party prevention contractors, and not just there, but also all the business that the contractor is doing through a business portal with the Office of the Fire Marshal.
Okay. The solutions you were just talking about, is that your ITM or is that a different solution?
So ITM is just another area of the complete solutions that we offer for an Office of the Fire Marshal.
Okay. Andreas, thank you very much for taking some time with us today. If people want to find out more about First Due, how can they do it?
So they can go to firstdue.com. If they're here at FDIC, of course, they can come to our booth at 207. And we'd love to learn more about what they're challenged with and how we can help.
Okay, great. Well, again, my thanks to you, Andreas. This again has been Chris McClean for FDIC International 2025. Have a good one and stay safe. Thanks again.
Thank you.